250 laps on this lightning quick and cramped half mile. Michael Waltrip is the defending race winner. Martin Truex Jr. went to victory lane here in the spring.
For tonight's Food City 250, let you know how they'll line up. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will lead the field of the green flag with Tony Raines alongside his best ever start. He's got a second place finish at Bristol.
And Kevin Harvick going for 4 victories here on this concrete track at Bristol. Casey Kane out of row 3.
Jamie McMurray seeking his first Bristol Top 10 Busch Series finish, along with Kyle Busch going for 3 straight wins. He finished 3rd here in March.
Biffle has 4 victories so far this year. Carl Edwards, a rare NASCAR Busch Series appearance for him.
Robbie Gordon, a lot of folks think, has a very strong car for this race. He's going to come from row number 10. And Jason Keller, excellent is his record here at Bristol in the past.
Kenseth, oh man, he's way back in 25th spot.
And that's a surprise.
Well, that's right.
He won't be there for long.
He will be going forward.
Mike Wallace, top 10 finish last weekend at Michigan. His team's kind of on a little bit of a roll here lately. Looking to continue it here tonight. Deep in the field, former 2-time Bristol winner Steve Grissom, going to come from row 21. He won this race a number of years ago from way back in the starting field.
And Jimmy Kitchens, the last car. Big list that failed to qualify, Alan.
Yep. A lot of cars here trying to get in. That's what it means to race here at Bristol. And when Eric McClure missed the driver's meeting, he will drop to the tail end on the pace laps from his scheduled 36th starting spot. Cars not yet having rolled off onto the racetrack for their parade and pace laps, but 3 pace laps around here does not take very long. So let's get a head start on our final stories from pit road. Marty, lead us off.
Alan, the qualifying lap that surprised everybody yesterday was Tony Raines. Surprised everybody, that is, except for Tony Raines. He said it was, though, the career qualifying lap of all career qualifying laps. Surprised him a little bit, but he said he finished 6th with his car here in March. Told me before he got in the car just a moment ago, the car's even better tonight. I may not be as fast as Dale Earnhardt Jr., but we'll be there at the end. Matt?
Marty, Kenny Wallace is winless in 2004, but he's hoping that tonight kind of mirrors a night back in 1994. He was winless coming into this event that year, and he went on to victory lane and jump-started a 3-win season, but he had a lot of problems in the final practice session, of fire under the hood. The team had to replace all the wires and hoses. He only got 20 laps during that final practice session. He has only 20 laps on this car. They still have a few ideas they want to try to work on this car, but only one stop they're going for tonight. He rolls off the 3rd position. Dave?
Matt, you're not supposed to be able to do this. That is, qualify better than experienced and well-funded teams. But that's just what Carl Edwards and crew chief Robbie Benton have done this weekend. They qualified on the outside of row number 7 ahead of a lot of good guys. And Carl Edwards, a brand new guy in the Nextel Cup Series, is also a Truck Series driver and won a race earlier here this week. They've had a good weekend so far. They're hoping to keep it together and have a good showing here for Mac Tools tonight. Alan?
And the cars you see completing one of the 3 parade and pace laps they'll make before we get started. A little better than 1.2 million on the line tonight. And the pit window, that's the key. We heard Matt mention one-stop race. You get to change 2 sets of tires under caution. The question down with these crew chiefs is going to be, how many times do you stop?
And how much fall off is there in a set of tires, so you really don't know if you're going to change them once or just twice. We'll see a lot of teams try it once.
Yeah, and in the past there hasn't been a lot of fall off on these tires.
It has been a beautiful weekend so far between yesterday and today. Kind of warm, a little muggy. Forecast is for good weather throughout the night tonight, though at this time of year in the southeast you can always throw in a slight chance of a little pop-up shower somewhere, but not supposed to be a factor for us throughout the evening.
All right, here we go.
250 laps at Bristol. The roar will let you know it's time to start. Earnhardt Jr. brings him down to the green flag. So good.
Tony Raines just forced his way into 2nd spot. Just kind of
who spoke so soon.
These guys are really jamming.
Got trouble off turn 4. First lap, Johnny Sauter and Mark Green. And who's that collected Mark? That is Eric McClure.
Eric McClure.
So the answer to your question would be,
We were correct.
1 lap.
1 lap.
We said under 2, didn't we?
I'll give you credit for that.
Oh, me.
That is why you want to start up front in a race here at Bristol. That started maybe about 12th in line and just kind of accordioned on back.
Looks like somebody got in the back of the 27 and forced him. And here comes McClure. Hard contact. And Johnny Sauter, the 27 car, is on pit road, having to obey pit road speed, and the cars are back up to speed.
Tony Raines all over Earnhardt up front. Then we got Truex working on the 2 car. Hornaday.
That's a great shot. That's for 12 and 13 spots, Juan. Already been a little contact there.
Yeah, we already got some damage to the left rear of the 2 car, where someone is banged in the back of him. We're right on board with Mark Truex Jr., and I'm telling you, in the spring when they raced here, this 8 car was unbelievable how hooked up he was. I'm just shocked that he's back in 13th position.
That's a little bit of the bump and rub.
Change for second. Kevin Harvick went by Kenny Wallace on the restart for third. Just went by Tony Raines for second. 21 car on the move.
Kevin gets around this place good. He really likes this racetrack, so he is going to be tough tonight.
3-time Bristol Busch Series winner Kevin Harvick has 3 out of 9 races.
Did I mention that he's won here 3 times?
Did you mention that?
How about it, Dave? Can you add on the 21?
Absolutely. Kevin was very confident when I talked to him before the race, even before the interview. Talked to his crew chief, Ricky Byers, and they just felt like this car, which ran so well here in the spring, was equally as good this time. Remember, he finished second here in the spring after starting 5th, so they are high on the car, and as you mentioned, always high on Kevin Harvick here at Bristol.
And with good reason.
Yeah, he's eating up that lead.
3 times.
Has he?
Did you know that?
I did. Should remind me.
Lap traffic, Tina Gordon involved in that first crash in the 39, being overtaken by some of the front runners.
And I tell you what, these guys on the outside going by, you really tiptoe by a car when they're on the inside, in that inside groove.
Because the field was strung out for the single file restart so early in the race, the leader's going to catch the tail end of the field in a huge hurry. So some of these guys at the end of the line have got to go.
And that leader may be Harvick by the time they get there.
Man, how fast this 21 car is. Last time by was 1500ths of a second faster than Dale Earnhardt.
He is now. Earnhardt just should really, this is one of the race, just give him the room and go, because if he doesn't, Tony Raines and Kenny Wallace are going to be right on their back bumper.
For the race lead, Harvick in the 21, Earnhardt Jr. in the 81. There is your wave by, you think?
Probably. I mean, that's just a smart thing to do, because if you start racing each other, especially in traffic, you're going to lose time to the guys behind you.
Marty, something wrong with the 81 car?
Of course not, BP. I think they're just being patient. That's kind of the theme down here for the Chance 2 race teams. They were the fastest car in happy hour, but Junior told me before the race, the best thing about the car, very consistent on the longer run. So I think he knew Harvick was faster, let him go. Probably, hopefully, if you're an 8-car fan or 81 car fan in this case, he'll pass him back later.
Well, we'll see.
There's that word you guys used earlier, patience. So Kevin Harvick, the second leader of the race. Earnhardt Jr. now second. Tony Raines third. Kenny Wallace fourth. David Green fifth. Followed by Casey Kane, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, David Stremme, and Kyle Busch, who is back to the number 10 position. There's David Green. And this is the race for 5th place as Casey Kane tries to close in on him. Been a tough season on David in this 37. They've had some engine problems on a number of occasions this year. I talked with David about that. He said it's just really held our program back this year. case in point, they came here to Bristol to test a couple of weeks ago. And you're only allowed so many tests by NASCAR. And you literally have to get a pass from NASCAR to come test. So they got their pass for their one-day test and showed up here and had an engine problem early in the morning, so only got about 20 laps of running in. And that was the engine they had with them. They didn't think they needed a spare for a one-day test, so they had to load up and go home and wasted that test.
You see where Kenny Wallace was able to get by Tony Raines, take over that third spot. Matt, 23 looking pretty good right now.
BP, he's on the move. He hasn't won in 59 Busch Series start. Trying to get some good luck going this year. Now, he came on the radio and told his crew chief Chris Rice that the front end is bottoming out. He goes, we know, we can see the sparks, but you are turning the best lap times of anybody in the top 5. He is slowly working his way to the front, chasing down Harvick.
Oh, boy, got a mess.
Oh,
Turn 2.
And we got the 8 car, the points leader, in the outside retaining wall, along with Greg Biffle.
You and I were both watching that. We know what happened there.
I was trying to get the cameras over there because it was like, it's going to happen.
This was a case of Greg Biffle tangling with a lap car and then Greg Biffle trying to retaliate on the lap car. And when that happened...
Is that a loss of patience, maybe?
Possibly. At least that's my opinion. What do you think? Am I close?
No, I mean, that's what happens. And especially here, when you're a driver and you're racing other cars and you come up on another car that's running a lot slower, let's take a look at it.
Right, this is off of turn 4. Now, 39 cars left side wheels are down on the yellow line.
Wow. Man, Biffle did a good job.
Saving it there. That's on the front stretch.
And that's off of turn 2 a half a lap later.
Okay, so he retaliates and it cost him, and it may have cost Mark Truex. So that's the problem with, doing that. Nothing she could have done on that. I mean,
on board Martin Truex.
That was just losing their patience. Oh, it was.
As we come back live to Bristol. Kevin Harvick, the race leader, over Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kenny Wallace, Dave Green, and Jamie McMurray.
So these guys up front, they can be patient. It's back in here as these cars, they're the guys that have to be impatient and try to get all the positions they possibly can. David Strimming, Casey Kane. Those guys are running back in 8th and 9th, although they're still okay. It's those guys back about 20th. They got to go.
A couple of updates while we watch this racing for position. Marty's report on Greg Biffle. It was trying to happen when the crash occurred. Biffle's car's been repaired. He's back on track. Biffle 22 laps down in 39th place. Remember, Biffle running all the Busch Series races this year. He's 4th in the championship. There is Biffle.
Not going to handle very well.
No, he's kind of minus some aero pieces like front fenders.
He is not going to have a fun rest of the evening.
Want to finish that up, Marty?
What I was trying to say is I tried to talk to him, but as soon as I got to the window and pulled the window net down, they had the car ready to go back out on the track. Then they had to come back down pit road. The right front was out of line. Kind of got that fixed as best they can. As you said, Wally, not going to be a very fun night for Greg Biffle, is it?
Yeah, he's going to be looking in his mirror quite a bit because he's going to have a lot of cars passing him.
So again, Biffle back in 39th place and 23 laps down to the race leader. Robbie Gordon hit it under that last caution. Robbie is back pretty good ways in 32nd place, and Casey Mears was the lucky dog on the last yellow, and he is now back on the lead lap in 33rd place. Here's a race for 4th, 5th, and 6th. David Green, 37, Jamie McMurray, 66, and Kyle Busch in the 5.
Busch's car looks pretty good. Looks like you can stay right down on the bottom. That's what you got to do at Bristol. If you can hook it on that line.
third straight NASCAR Busch Series race after taking victories at Indianapolis Raceway Park and Michigan. How about the 66 car? Let's hear about that. Dave?
Yeah, Alan, he talked to his crew during the yellow flag period right then and said it's really not too bad. Remember, he started in 7th position tonight after starting on the pole the last time he raced this car for Rusty Wallace. Just a little bit loose into turn 3, but overall, not bad. Marty?
Dave, our second place man in the championship, Kyle Busch, describes his car as A-OK into that caution. Very happy with it. They were a little tight in the center during the final practice yesterday. They've kind of gotten rid of that. They made one change this morning. Very happy with the car so far. And he is aware of what happened to Martin Truex Jr. He was right behind it when it happened. Talked about it on the radio with his crew. Knows that he's way behind him. Could be a big night for the 5 team in terms of the championship. Matty?
The 38 car, Casey Kane, he's running in the 7th position. Under the caution, told crew chief Paul Andrews, the car was a little bit tight. They were concerned about the left front and the right rear quarter panel rubbing, but the rub has gone away on the left front. On their next stop, which they feel like will be their only stop tonight, they're going to pull out both fenders and make a chassis adjustment. He's had a great summer, 6 finishes of 7th or better this summer.
Yeah, they finally wore all the rubber off that left front tire, so that's when it stopped rubbing.
I'm sure that'd be comforting to him.
Man, these guys are going at it.
Yeah.
They're in traffic and they're nose to tail for position. And this is where you start losing. If you're going to lose your patience, PP, this is right now where you start losing your patience. If you're 5-car of Busch, I think Kyle thinks he's got a better car than Jamie. And it's hard to stay on a guy if you think you're better through. It looks like he's better through the center.
Well, see, he acts that way because he's taking a very aggressive stance, pulling up right behind the 66 car, trying to let him know, hey, man, I'm faster. Cut me some slack. Where the 25 car he's very passive with his movement on these cars in front of him. It's like, okay, guys, you figure it out, and then I'll try to go with you.
But Mike, it's also Mike's first race in this car, so he doesn't want to make a great big mistake. He's driving the car great, and he's got to be, and he is using patience.
It's Mike's first race this year.
Well, there you have it.
Practiced and qualified Bipple's car a couple times, but Dave, he's doing a solid job in that 25. Talking about Michael Walker.
Crew Chief Harold Holly told me today that he knocked the rust off pretty well. The big change came on Wednesday. Wednesday morning, Jeff Green was the driver. They put Jeff Green's seat in the car, adjusted the car for Jeff Green. By 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, Mike McLaughlin was dropping his lunch plans and going to the shop to be fitted in this car. It's the same seat, but the cockpit has been adjusted for Mike.
And trouble in turn 2. That is J.J. Yaley in the Joe Gibbs 18. Who got a little help around the corner, a little bit farther than he needed to turn. And the caution flag is out at lap 73.
Green flag, still inside.
Michael Waltrip is 2 laps down. The car that is in front of Kenny Wallace in that outside lane, whom Kenny is going to try and pass right now.
He is going to pass.
Matt Kenseth is the leader. Martin Truex is second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. third. Kevin Harvick is kind of pinched back in traffic. He runs fourth, followed by Casey Atwood in fifth.
How about this comeback by Casey Mears in the 1 car? Currently in the 6th position. Oh,
dive into the inside.
Tight right there.
That's a good candidate for another yellow.
Yeah. Michael saw that coming too.
Yep. So, second place has changed hands while we were watching all that. Dale Earnhardt Jr. around Martin Truex. So now Earnhardt Jr. chasing down Kenseth to try and grab the lead.
And Marty, this 81 car looks really, really fast.
Pretty awesome. I think the only car really in his league is Kevin Harvick's, but as you said, kind of back there in traffic is a 21 car. The 81 car, very fast, just a little bit tight. Junior very happy, trying to track down his buddy, Matt Kenseth, who drives that 17 car.
Little jam here. Casey Mears through Casey Atwood for position. That would be for 5th. Here's David Green for 6th. Kyle Busch for 7th. 14 car, one of the guys who didn't pit a little while ago, Matt.
He's got a great run going tonight, working on his first career top 5 here at Bristol. Hung on the outside. He said that he just cannot get back in the gas when he needs to. 2 days ago, he celebrated his 24th birthday. We're talking about going down on the track or on his next stop. But back in 2000, this weekend, he sat down in turns 1 and 2 with Ray Evernham, and they watched the master at Bristol work Rusty Walls. Casey was trying to pick up when he would get out of the gas, when he would get on the brakes by looking at the brake rotors. He felt like that really helped him get a better education about how he needs to go fast here in Bristol.
Well, he just got hung out like we talked about, just like at Daytona or Talladega. You get up on the outside, and these guys are nose to tail, and you can't get down on a low line. He lost a lot of positions right there.
Atwood shuffled back to 14th. Kevin Harvick for 3rd. He's taken it away from Martin Truex. Harvick's got some damage on the right rear. Harvick in the 21 led a lot of the early going from lap 21 to 74.
Where'd that come from? I don't remember that. With the damage on the 21?
It could have been any of them,
okay,
right?
I thought I missed something.
And Kenny Wallace, as we ride along with him in the Stacker 2 car, he is the first car 1 lap down should their caution flag wave, and I can't imagine him not waving. He would be the recipient of the lucky dog.
So this might not work out all that badly for Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny's driving like he's not happy because...
What, you think?
He's not happy.
I wonder why that would be. Martin Truex Jr. in front of Kyle Busch for now as far as the championship contenders are concerned. There's Kyle slipping around David Green. That'll be for 6th place. Let's get an update on Kyle Busch's run. Good morning.
Well, he pitted on lap 75 with all the leaders out when his car was tight. Then they took some wedge out trying to loosen him up. Now it's 2 loose in and 2 loose off. The greater concern is when they are under caution, like a lot of these race teams, the temperature on the water shoots way up for the 5 car. It was 260 under the last caution. A little bit of concern. Doesn't help the engine, but hasn't hurt it so far.
Yeah, on the caution flag, they're not running fast enough. Oh, the battle for the lead. Kenseth goes back to 2nd as Junior, the 81 car, back in front.
Well, that didn't take long. He just left him.
Anyway, the cars don't go fast enough on the caution flag to get air through the grill to cool them off.
Trouble with McMurray here as he hits pit road. He was running the top 10, too.
Yep. So new leader is Earnhardt Jr. back out in front. And Matt Kenseth shuffled back to 2nd, Dave.
He was reporting that his car was just a little bit tight on the throttle, so that's what was holding that up. Plus his tires are a little bit older than Junior's.
All right, so that's the story on Kenseth. Remember that Matt pitted back at lap 33, and Earnhardt Jr. and the rest of them pitted at 74. Mike Wallace has been kind of getting used up here. He's had about 5 guys bump and run him in the last 20 laps.
Okay, this has been very close racing. Casey Atwood in front of Mike. That's it, Mike Wallace in the 4, and then he gets bumped behind by Paul Menard in the 11, and Menard loses the spot to the 59 of Stacy Compton.
There goes Carl Edwards. 3 underneath.
Check out the shape of the back bumper on Mike Wallace's 4 car. It was straight across about 25 laps ago. Now it's kind of like a U from several different people's front bumpers inserting themselves, making an imprint there. That's all back for about 14th place where Mike Wallace runs in the 4. Compton trying to find a way around. Talking about guys who need good things to happen. That 59 team, Stacy Compton, they have had a struggle this year. Had a great run out in Pikes Peak where they came up with a 2nd place finish, but other than that,
boy, Stacy's doing everything he can to get just underneath Mike.
They turn left. No.
There's the bump and run.
And meanwhile, we see Mike Bliss get by the 11 car of Menard.
hey, we'll be back. Well, I shouldn't say that. But you know what color the flag is that we've been under for a little while here.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. these guys are going to be stopping pretty soon, aren't they, Benny? Got the front runners going to get into some traffic now, which could make things kind of interesting. There's Earnhardt Jr. up on Travis Geisler. You know, these lead cars want to hug the bottom, but so don't the lap cars. So who's supposed to give way to what? Normally the lap cars stay to the bottom at most tracks.
Yes. That's right. And there goes Junior to the outside, the way it's supposed to be done.
But it's hard to pass up there on the outside, even when it is a car that's a lap down.
I said the way it's supposed to be done in a perfect world, but this place is far from perfect.
Now we'll work around Steve Grissom, former two-time winner here at Bristol, in the 24 car to put him a lap down. And boy, if your car's tight, it's really tight if you got to pass somebody on the outside. Hard to get through the center. So Earnhardt Jr. holding off Kenseth as they ease their way through some of the lap cars. They've lapped up to now 27th place. That was where Steve Grissom runs. And next ahead of them will be the 74 of Tony Raines. Mentioned Jamie McMurray was on pit road a minute ago in the 66 car. Unscheduled stop there, Dave.
Actually, I owe you a couple of reports on Jamie McMurray. Early on, he went way back. Wally, you commented on it. They had a gun, one of the air wrenches jammed, and they had trouble on one of the tires. He came in just moments ago because he had loose lug nuts and a bad vibration on the right front tire. So guess which gun went bad? The front gun on that stop. They had plenty of issues.
Man, oh man. Well, there's your leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr. As we come up on lap 152 of 250. Earnhardt Jr. trying to make it 2 wins and 3 Busch Series tries this season. Had a full moon kind of night here in Thunder Valley tonight. They've been bouncing and beating and banging each other on the racetrack here right from lap number 1. We didn't expect anything different with Robbie Gordon. Well, maybe, Michael Waltrip. Maybe we expected to get a few more laps of green flag racing. Yeah. And there's the restart's going to be with 65 laps to go. Michael Waltrip will be the first one to the inside of the leader, trying to get one of his laps back. Guys with good tires or better tires in the back, on hard back. And for the lead, taking advantage of the door opened by Waltrip, Earnhardt Jr. is through.
And Yaley is going to get used and abused as he loses 3-4 spots.
J.J. Yaley, the USAC Triple Crown winner. Means he won the championship in the sprints, the midgets, and the Silver Crown cars all in the same year. What an accomplishment.
Actually still in 4th spot, but he's about to lose that to Kyle Busch. Kurt's little brother.
You know what he's thinking about right now? Tires.
Yeah, I wish I had some tires.
Wish I had some tires like everybody else. Well, he pitted at 109. Everybody else pitted at 168, so that's quite a bit of difference. So the leader is now Dale Earnhardt Jr. with Kevin Harvick up to second. You watch Kyle Busch trying to pick his way through the traffic. He is a couple of spots in front of his title rival Martin Truex. And now we watch Earnhardt Jr. working through Michael Waltrip's lap car.
You see Mike Bliss going to the garage area, pit area, on the bottom of the racetrack.
Now it's going to get good.
Yes, it is.
And Harvick, Darren Kenseth, and man, Kyle Busch all of a sudden in the picture.
Where did he come from? Man.
He came from Las Vegas. But I think Harvick...
trouble.
I was going to say...
Ashton Lewis, looks like. Yes, it is.
Caution flag is out. I don't think he hit anything. Yeah, he got away with that one. That's a rarity.
How in the world did he do that? And we see the rubber on the left rear fender kind of tells the tale as to what might have happened to send him spinning.
Cars now in the lead lap as we go back at it.
Harvick and Earnhardt clear the 74 of Rains, and Kenseth almost.
Remember, Tony Raines started on the outside pole for this race, was involved in an incident earlier that damaged his car. He's now the first car one lap down and trying to stay there in front of Ron Hornaday, right behind him in the 2. So those two cars now racing for the Lucky Dog Pass at the next caution, if there is one, which there probably will be based on tonight's track record.
I would think that's a safe bet.
David Stremme, 32, 5th place. Truex Jr. in the 8 in 6th. And David Green in the 37, chasing them.
And this surface on this racetrack is concrete, and there is some bumps on this racetrack.
These cars move around and twist and bump, and it's a busy racetrack on a chassis.
That was a camera on Stremme's car.
Working the lap car of Kevin LePage in the 72.
Watch the tire. Watch how much the tire flexes.
And the spring almost collapses, almost coil binds it. The coils almost hit each other.
I don't think you want to see that as a driver.
And the sway bar arm is hitting the racetrack down in the corner, just touching the track.
That's a lot of travel.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it looks like that spring is coil binding, doesn't it? There's not much coil left in it.
Boy, it's right there. You got to get these cars down to the racetrack. Everything is being built higher and higher on the cars, so you can get these cars down lower, makes them grip better.
So Stremme running along in 5th position in the Trim Spa car and having a really good night. Best finish for Stremme this season so far was a 2nd place run at Milwaukee.
When we see on the shock, we see the brake reflection of the brakes as they get hot. You see the red, that's from the rotors glowing.
So there's the Stremme car, full view.
I told you that was the brake rotors that we saw the reflection on the shock absorber, that red. We have a brake cam on the 23 car, the Stacker 2 car. Kenny must not be using the brakes.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, there we go. See the rotor turning red.
He's not using them much.
No, he isn't. I'm impressed.
And that's a good handle on race car if you don't have to use a lot of brake here.
Stremme uses some brakes.
Now Kenny is good here in Bristol. This is one of his best tracks. This in Richmond, I think.
Yeah, I think if he can get through some of these slower cars.
That's Jay Sauter he's trying to get behind the 75 car.
I think he can be a threat to win this thing.
That's the battle for the 18th position.
A lot of track position now between him and Earnhardt.
So there's Kenny back in the 19th spot. And up front, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has pulled away from 2nd place, Kevin Harvick. Change for 3rd. While we were riding on board with those cars, Kyle Busch has gotten around Matt Kenseth and is closing in on Harvick quickly, Marty.
And now 5 spots ahead of his championship rival, looking under Kevin Harvick for the 2nd position. They just came on the radio, so the car looks awesome, buddy. Nobody can hang with you. A little skatey before the last stop, loose off. He said didn't change much. 1 round down on the track bar, and the wisdom of a 19-year-old. He came on the radio under the last caution and said, can you guys remind me to take an aspirin before I race at Bristol next?
Got a spin. Carl Edwards off turn 4. Caution flag is out.
Well, Carl learned how to win here at Bristol on Wednesday night. And
45 got loose on the inside. You got loose, come up and hit you in the left rear corner.
And now he learned how to spin.
And he learns that people hit you in the left rear corner. We see the damage back on the left rear.
So Carl falls back to 20th place.
That was McLaughlin on 25 that got in the left rear of the 03.
Take a ride with him.
And inside.
And you know what? Well, he never expected
Hold your
that.
brake, hold your brake, hold your brake.
Yeah,
All right,
don't.
come on, if you can, roll if you can.
No, that's a surprise. Not a very nice surprise, but at least he didn't hit anything.
A minute. I've already done this once this weekend. What's the penalty?
So caution number 11 is out here at Bristol with 37 laps to go. Was the lap car trying to get back around the leader at the restart. Bernard Jr. and Harvick clear him. Now third place Kyle Busch working the traffic. Whoa. Kyle Busch came down and cut it a little bit too close on the 72 and almost spun himself out. So 32 laps to go. And the question is, can anybody do anything with that 81 car? I guarantee everybody's driving their butt off right now as hard as they can. Under the last caution, Casey Kane took his car off the track. The report is he is done for the race with a mechanical failure.
Pretty good battle between Strimmy in 32 and David Green in 37, and the NASCAR Series points leader, Truex, in the 8th.
That'll be for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Around some of the lap cars. I'll tell you what, it's been a tough night for a lot of people in the top of the NASCAR Busch Series point standings, except for the top two. Truex and Busch both hanging in there in the top 10. But Ron Hornaday's had a tough night. Greg Biffle's had a tough night.
David Green gets by Strimmy, takes over that position, goes into 5th.
Strimmy's car looks like he's really sliding through the corners. Can't keep that car down on the bottom, so he's probably going to lose the spot to Martin Truex here pretty soon.
Marty, how is the 8 car now, Marty?
BP, that is one frustrated young man inside that 8 race car in the 7th position right now. He lost a couple of spots a moment ago. The car has been tight since that earlier rack, and the toe is knocked out. What that means is when Martin holds the steering wheel straight, the tires are not going straight. About a half-inch of toe knocked out. Kevin Manning just told him, if we finish in the top 10 at Bristol with a half-inch of toe knocked out after having wrecked, we deserve a gold medal. This is going to be a good night. Don't get down on yourself.
It's back at lap 29. Greg Biffle tangled with a lap car, and Truex ended up getting caught up in it. Fell back to 32nd place at the time. Did not hit at lap 74 when the other leaders did, and that got him his track position back, and he's held on ever since up near the front of the field. It will be a good point night for Truex and the Chance 2 team. Yeah, I thought those guys were done after I saw them hit that wall. I mean, I thought they were going to just be riding around in the back.
That's what I thought. He'd finish about 25th, but here he is, currently in the 7th position, so they have made the most of this night.
Looking at the NASCAR Busch Series Championship, the way it's unfolding this year, after tonight there are 10 races to go. It's pretty well come down to a 2-driver race, as well as the chase for the championship is being received on the Cup side. What would you think about extending that to the NASCAR Busch Series in future years?
I'd vote for it in a minute.
You're asking us? Yeah, I'm asking you. I think it'd be great. I think it's a great format. It's very exciting. Heck yeah. Here's a race for 3rd. Matt Kenseth trying to get back around Kyle Busch. Matt Kenseth had a pretty solid night, Dave.
Yeah, but I don't think he can win, Alan. His car is just too tight in the middle of the corners. He has to wait on it before he jumps back in that gas. And guys, you talked about that earlier. If you can't get right back on the gas, you're in trouble.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with, I think that goes to show you just how good the NASCAR Nextel Cup drivers are, because right now the first 3 cars, Bernard Jr., Harvick, Kenseth, all driving the NASCAR Nextel Cup. Kyle Busch, the 5 car, the first regular on the NASCAR Busch Series. And I tell you what, he's fighting an uphill stream trying to beat these guys. They're such fantastic race car drivers.
Kyle Busch has chopped some of the gap, his deficit to Martin Truex, down in the last couple of weeks. The championship between the two, the gap was, where's my note here? The gap was as much as 142 points. And now it's down to 97 starting tonight, and it's going to close up a little bit more. Marty?
It's not 45 off in the last 2 weeks, as you talked about, Alan, with those back-to-back wins. But I talked to Kyle earlier about the championships today, and he told me, it's not going to be consistency that wins the championship like it is in the next Cup Series. It's going to be the team that doesn't have a problem coming down to the end of the season, and that's what we have to be good at. We have to finish races. We have a 10th-place car finish 10th, and there's another caution flag out, Alan.
Notice every time we talk to Marty, we have a yellow.
I think that's true, Wally. I'll just stop talking.
And that, don't give us that kind of opening for a comeback, Marty. And that happened right in front of Martin Truex. Hermie Sadler got turned around, and this would be the 12th caution of the race. Now we're starting to get close.
Now we're getting close to the all-time record.
Most in any race this season, we're getting close to the record here at Bristol.
Good restart by Earnhardt. He didn't let Harvick get close enough.
Oh, man, Harvick drove that car in turn 3, but he's got to be a little bit defensive as well because he has a 17 looking on the inside.
Sure does. Wow.
There he goes.
Very strong.
To second. And now chasing after Earnhardt Jr.
And he's catching him.
7 to go. Kyle Busch now putting pressure on Kevin Harvick for third. Harvick looks so strong for a lot of this race, like he was the only one that had anything for the 81 car of Earnhardt Jr.
And Kenseth that last time, faster than Junior.
He's going to have to hurry.
Here comes Kyle Busch for third.
In the right spot, and here comes Green trying to take advantage of it, but couldn't get there quick enough.
Tell you what, that was a pretty impressive move by that young man in that 5 car to get by Kevin Harvick with just a few laps ago.
And got him another 5 points between himself and Truex in the championship.
Exactly.
So Kevin Harvick fading in these final laps. Now 4 to go for Earnhardt Jr. His advantage over Matt Kenseth has actually grown a car length or so in these last couple of laps. And we continue to watch Kyle Busch race for third. There's the gap first to second.
Man, that 17 car, he is driving that car into those corners.
Oh, crash over turn 3.
Jay Sauter, Tony Raines. And the caution flag is out. So green-white checker coming up. What that means is when the track is cleaned up and we're ready to go racing, they wave the green flag. At the end of the first lap, the white flag. At the end of the second lap, the checkered flag. If the caution flag comes out anywhere in there, then the race is going to be over. 1 to go when they come to the line. So that'll be 253. So we'll go green at 254, white at 255, and the checkered flag potentially flying at lap 256 tonight here at Bristol. So a little bonus action for the fans who've come out tonight, and for you at home as well. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has dominated the night so far, led 122 of the 253 laps. We'll see if he can hang on for a final couple.
Okay, remember patience?
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Yeah, forget that. Yeah.
There's no patience in any one of these cars right now.
We're only talking about the first 100 laps as far as patience is concerned. With 1 lap to go, 2 laps to go, do whatever you got to do.
13 cautions for 87 laps. I didn't know we'd seen any patience tonight. So here we go. Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, David Green, David Stremme, and Martin Truex trying to chase down Dale Earnhardt Jr. and see what they can do in these final 2 laps.
Ready. Green.
Man, Earnhardt gets great restarts. I mean, that's the second one in a row. He just smoked him.
What a restart.
Kenseth try to rally back off 2. Got a little ground going on him. Yo, was that deep.
He's right there.
White flag. One more lap.
White flag.
Can Kenseth get close enough to him? Watch the back bumper.
Watch turn 3. Watch how far he goes in.
Hello. Oh, not quite close enough. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins it.
Good finish.
Good job, gang. Real good job.
Well, the last time Dale Earnhardt Jr. started on a short track in the NASCAR Busch Series was Richmond, 2001. That night, he sat on the pole and won the race. Tonight, he starts first and finishes first. First of all, nice restarts. And secondly, were you worried about all those cautions you were getting?
Yeah. My car was sliding around. Good job, Pete. This is my crew chief for the weekend, Pete.
You did a good job.
Oh, yes, sir. Did a great job. He worked on Ron's car, Watkins Glen, as the crew chief there, but I was worried. I got a lot of stuff on my tires. We had a caution, and I went down on the apron, got a bunch of junk on my tires. My car was a little sliding around a little bit, but Matt did a good job. He could have ran all over me. I mean, to be honest with you. Last lap, I was chugging through the corners, just trying to keep it on the bottom, and he laid off of me, and you know, it was a good race, good win.
Yeah, and for you guys, things have not been great in the Cup Series. Even for an accomplished driver like you, what does a win do?
Accomplished, huh? Well, I got a lot more things I'd like to do, but we got to get better, you know. And we no point fingers, just you know, we all gather ourselves and do the best we can every week, and you know, try to figure out how to get better all the time. This is pretty cool to be able to get back in the Busch Series and run with the Busch guys. It's a great series. I want to thank Menards and everything they've done with DEI and their support of our company. And hopefully we'll get the Budweiser Chevrolet in the same spot next this Sunday here.
Big win for Dale Earnhardt Jr. His teammate is with Matt.
Showing their championship medal, Martin Truex Jr. What a way to battle back, but I know you're not happy with the circumstances.
No, just real disappointed, you know. I guess it's just the way Bristol is, you know, you get caught up in somebody's mess. I guess Biffle was pissed off at somebody and decided to wreck them, and I had nowhere to go, so. Tough break, great team as always, battled back. Toe was knocked out real bad. I was just too tight to run them guys ahead of me, and you know what are you gonna do? It's Bristol. Glad we're out of here.
What a way to battle back. They end up with a 7th place finish.
Boy, I felt that before.
That's
like, I can't wait to get out of here.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the win tonight as we check out the finishing results from the Food City 250.
Carl Edwards be the first car 1 lap down in 18th position.
And some of the drivers who had troubles farther on down the finishing order in the huge number of cautions we had tonight, 13 for 87 laps. Championship standings down to 78 points, the gap between the two as the Busch Series heads to California next week.